And the things that were done to try to stop me as the messenger of all of this they were just gutting, frightening, the things that they were willing to do to stop it and to destroy me, or to, have my family die of carbon monoxide poisoning and blame it on me in some way. Right. And that happened. We had an ice storm in Maryland. I had a generator. I always pulled the generator out on the driveway because there was one car in the driveway and one car in the street. I pulled the generator out on the driveway and I started the generator and runs the cable into the house. So we power important things like the television, and the refrigerator and the freezer. And the whole family goes to sleep. And I'm kind of laying on the sofa watching some mindless program, petting the dog who's not getting up, which is odd. Senta, a German Shepherd, and a Siamese cat. The family Siamese cat by the name of Ranger gets up from where he was and starts to walk across the floor in front of me and wobbles and falls on his side and lets out this strange noise that I'd never heard before. So I stand up to see what's wrong with him, and I suddenly find I have no motor skills. I have no inability to control what's happening. I stagger over to the door, which is close, and open it and let fresh air come in. And I go out into the fresh, icy air. The whole place looks like a glazed donut. I mean, everything, right? Trees, wires, houses, everything. And I just sit out there breathing and breathing until my head clears after a few minutes, enough for me to go back in. And now I'm understand what's happening. And so I run upstairs. I wake up Debbie. Then we both wake up the children because I said, we're getting something's happening. There's carbon monoxide or something. So we start waking the kids up. Our two daughters are lethargic. The one that their rooms was over the garage, and I really thought that they were going to have to be resuscitated. So I pick them up, we carry them down, we carry them outside. I run back in and get coats. We get the whole family outside, including the dog and the cat. And I call 911. And the police come and the fire department comes. So the whole neighborhood wakes up like at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the police say, "Is this you?" And they're pointing at, because they've kept everybody, they're pointing at footprints. He goes, I go, "No, that's not me." I go, I drug it out, and drug it out and started it and closed the garage door and went back through the inner garage door. And they're going, "Well, somebody on the street came off the street, picked up the generator, picked up the garage door, apparently, and pushed the generator in and closed the garage door back again." He goes, "If you hadn't awakened when you did, yeah." He said, "We would have been here, tomorrow sometime because you hadn't showed up for work or your wife hadn't. And we would have come in and found a whole house of corpses. And yeah, everybody would have said it was you putting the generator here." So they dusted and fingerprinted and went on to the whole thing, cast the footprints, like all those kinds of things, and filed a police report for it. But yeah, no, they never found anybody.
When did that happen? Was that before you published the book or shortly thereafter?
It was during the time had to be in like 95-ish, 95. I can't recall exactly. I have to look at a police report, which I'd have to call and look. But it, somewhere in that time frame, there was a concerted effort to actually stop the actual publication of it, meaning it getting on the street or going where it was going to go. And there was certainly, if they thought that I had committed suicide, given what else had happened or killed my family, right, they would have used that to discredit the messenger. That is what they would have done.
And then the publishing company would have to pull the book or not launch the book.
Discredit the book. And then there are other things that went on with these active things of sending stuff to people to call the publisher and do that stuff. This was really, really a bad deal of watching people go out of their way to try to stop this thing. And then the CIA doing what they were doing, and releasing information that was minimal, distorted, right? All these things. And people sort of kind of believe that. And people need to understand that the Central Intelligence Agency, the acronym does not stand for the Central Information Agency. If they're saying anything to the American public, you better turn around and walk the other direction, or certainly not believe what you're hearing, because they're telling you what they want you to hear for a reason. They're not trying to keep you informed. It's not their job. And if they're releasing documents and calling them FOIAs, right? They're releasing documents because they want to paint the picture that they want to paint. That's why those documents exist. They aren't putting them out there because they're, we're just full disclosure now. There's never full disclosure with them, ever. It's never going to happen. They don't do that. And they are not obligated by a FOIA to disclose anything to you. All they have to do is come up with a simple sentence, not in the interest of national defense, or not in the interest of, national intelligence collection assets, or exposure of this or something else. They can shut a FOIA down in a second. They have no obligation to honor a FOIA. So when they release a FOIA, when they start dumping documents online for access to download, just have common sense enough to remember that who you're talking to and what you're dealing with.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. Additionally, if you have any feedback, please put something in the comments below. And lastly, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, you can find it above. Thanks again for watching.